cuties, I hope you all are doing really good, and as you can see, today we are going to have a quick little talk on the science marking scheme analysis. Now those of you who are wondering what is marking scheme, well, CBSE every year releases two things. One is sample question papers and also the marking scheme, as in the question papers and also the answer sheet. Okay, and the answers would be written very nicely, and for each step of the answer they will be giving you marks. So you will get to understand that if you write the answers like this, probably you will also be able to score. Now if you are someone who is writing big paragraphs, this particular video is really important for you, and if you are someone who is writing really less, then also this is very much important for you. So you should be going through the marking scheme as well as the sample question papers. I'll be telling you where you can get it from, okay, from their official website, but where in their official website, everything. And I'll be telling you why is it very much important for you to go through the marking scheme. So today it's all about science. I'll be telling you how you should be answering in science, both physics, not both, basically physics, chemistry, biology, everything has a different approach. We'll see that. Okay, so over here, first question, why is analyzing marking scheme important? First thing, for understanding the expectation, not your expectation but the expectation of the examiner. So do you know the fun fact? That is, for example, I am the biology teacher, but I would be the person who would be also correcting chemistry and physics, because you have a single science paper, right? So I'll be correcting all the portions. I might not be very well versed with the other subjects, but still I'm correcting. That means I have something solid on the basis of which I'm going to correct. And what is this thing? This is the marking scheme or the blueprint that will be given to this particular teacher, that is me. So looking at that, if I say, okay, this answer is matching from the child's answer, I would be giving marks for that. So it's basically with the help of the marking scheme, you are able to understand the expectation of the examiner who is going to check your paper. So you should be knowing how to write the answer, the key points and everything, and you will get to understand that with the help of this. Second thing, for answer structuring. For example, if the marking scheme allocates marks for specific elements like definition, examples or explanation, student can tailor their responses to meet those criteria. So if I am seeing that there is a question asked, but in the marking scheme the answer is given in 3 points. In the first point there is direct definition, in the second point it's explanation of that, in the third point there is example of that. And if I know that this is the pattern, probably I would also be, if I am a student, I would also be able to answer in that particular format, and I'll be scoring my marks, children. Okay, so that is important. Third thing, maximizing the marks. Okay, so by knowing exactly how marks are distributed, you can ensure they include all the necessary components in their answers to gain as many points as possible. So if you're not aware about the answering scheme, obviously you won't be able to write as much as possible. Okay, rather than having big paragraphs, important points, important key points, if you're already aware of that, you just have to write it there. That's all, simple. Okay, so you're maximizing your marks with the help of that. And also self-assessment. So basically today, if I have had the marking scheme, I'm going through it. Okay, I have the question paper. Just imagine that I am a person who is going to attempt the question paper. So within the fixed timings, that is 3 hours, I'm going to write the whole answers. Okay, then I am going to correct my answers with the help of marking scheme given by the CBSE. When I compare my answer sheet and the marking scheme, I will be able to understand what is that something that I should not have done, or what is that something that I should have included in this. So it is helping me self-analyze my preparation, my answering skills, everything. So you know, in boards, having knowledge is important, but having writing practice is equally important, my dear children, and this is what we are going to deal with today. Okay, so this is the importance of analyzing the marking scheme, and I don't want to bore you guys, so we'll move ahead. Where can you download the sample question papers and marking scheme from? So if you go to the CBSE website, you will end up in a page like this. Okay, you can just click on sample question papers. Over here you see science. If I zoom this in, there's sample SQP, that means sample question papers, and then it is MS, that is marking scheme. If you click on that, you'll get a whole question paper and its marking scheme as well. Works? So this is for the year, as you can see, 2024-2025. Every year for all the subjects, children, for all the subjects is being released. I'm just talking about science. For mathematics also it's there. If you want, you can download it. Okay? Now, I'm going to deal the answers, how you should be dealing with the answers, okay, for all the questions. So, how to answer one marker question with longer options. So, this is the question, that is, identify the incorrect statement. The energy available to the producers is maximum because this, B, C and D options are there. Now, what happens is that, suppose you got to know the answer, okay, the answer is C, okay, what will you do? What will you do, children? If you are going and writing just answer is equals to C option, sometimes you won't be able to get marks for that. Why? Because you have to write the whole option, and this is how it is mentioned in the marking scheme. What is there? The whole option is there. You have written C. Okay, C is the correct, but along with that you have to write the whole sentence there. So choose the correct option and write the full sentence while answering. It is very much important for boards. Okay, now the next type of question that we have is basically how to answer a general, a small question like this. So choose the correct option for the color of rays A and B. So over here column A is given, column B is given, okay, and you have to choose the correct answer. Again, how will you choose the correct answer? Basically you just have to, this is an easy thing, you just have to write whatever option is there and then the answer, but full answer. Okay, whatever answer is there, for example C is the answer, so you write the whole thing there and you get the 1 marks. So this is how they have given in the marking scheme. So I'm not reading the question, okay, which is why I'm answering like this. Fine, I don't want to waste your time. I just wanted to tell you how you should be framing your answers. Now over here some people might be trying to solve the questions as well. Children, you are most welcome, you can do that, or you can download sample question papers and do it. So you got to know question with longer option, how you need to deal with that, one with a shorter option, how you need to deal with that. Anyways, you have to write the full answer. Now the next type of question is how to answer assertion and reason question of 1 mark. So over here, you know, assertion and reason will be given, and along with that you have the options. Again, if you're just going there and writing the answer is C option, then it becomes wrong. You have to write the whole thing, and I'll tell you the importance of writing the whole thing. So when you are going through the assertion and reason, okay, the number of chromosomes in a cell and in a germ cell is not the same in any species. Reason is when 2 germ cells combine, they restore the normal number of chromosomes in a species, and you get to know that okay, this is correct, this is not correct, and you are writing the answer like this. A is false but B is true. So you're writing A is false, B is true. When you're writing the whole answer, it gives you an idea of what you're writing is correct or not. Okay, and sometimes no, we mismatch things. We think that okay, the actual answer that we were looking for was this, okay, but we thought this is the correct option and we just wrote B there, but actually it was C. Okay, some mismatch happened because we got panicked during examination, which is why we just wrote B. We thought that we are answering this, but we wrote B as an option over there. Okay, that happens when you are giving an exam. Okay, when you have a time bound situation, you probably do all this thing. I know, I have been there. So what you can do is write the option, correct option, and write the whole answer, so you will get to know that you are writing the same thing, the entire thing. Okay. And here also the faculty who is checking your paper, sometimes you might have written B over here and you have written the whole answer. So at least you have written the whole answer, so that person knows that you have written this, that means you are looking for the same answer as well. B you have written, okay, I am trying to say that basically the chances could be that you have written this as the correct answer, that B, and then you have written A is true, sorry, A is false, but R is true. Okay, so actually it was D. What you have written is for D, but you have written B as an option over here. So when you write the whole statement, at least you are telling the teacher or whoever is checking the paper that actually I was meaning to write this, not this. Okay, so always write the whole option, my dear children. It's very important. And then later on, if you get to know that this is okay, this is wrong, then you will put D as an option. Okay, so please make it a habit of writing thing. You have to write it in marking scheme. Everywhere they have written the whole answer. So you have to follow it. Now going ahead, how to answer a 2-marker question from chemistry. So over here they have written, identify the type of each of the following reactions, stating the reason for your answer. So it's a 2-marker question. So probably we can think that 1 mark is for this, 1 mark is for this. Now let's see, actually is it thought like that? Okay, actually is it thought like that? Over here we assume 1 is for this, 1 is for this. Okay, how can I divide the 1 mark over here and how can I divide the 1 mark over here? Basically you give 0.5, 0.5 for the sub parts of the answer. So the question says, identify the type of each of the following reactions. So you took this reaction, you took this particular reaction that you see over here, and the first part of the question says you have to find the type. So if you find the type, that will be giving you 0.5 marks. Second says, state the reason. So reason of this particular thing will be giving you another 0.5 marks. Together it gives you 1 mark. So if you're not reading the question properly and you're just writing the type of the reaction, okay, this is probably displacement reaction that is happening, this is exothermic reaction because heat is being released, or this is a redox reaction because Fe is getting Fe is getting reduced and aluminum is getting oxidized. So probably because of that all this thing is happening. You're just writing the type but you're not writing the reason, then it gives you just 0.5 marks, my dear children. Okay, it does not give you the whole 1 mark over here. So if you see the marking scheme, you get to know how you should be answering this question. So in the first part, they have mentioned it is exothermic displacement reaction or it is redox reaction. This is the type of the reaction. Second thing, they have mentioned the reason. Now this is reason. Heat is evolved or a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element, which is why it is known as displacement reaction. Heat is evolved, which is why it is known as exothermic reaction. And why it is known as redox reaction? Because aluminum reduces iron oxide to iron, or you can write the thing that I said, okay? Okay, or you can write iron oxidizes aluminum. Either way you can write it, but you have to tell the reason. For that you get 0.5 marks. Again, the next question is also like that. You first tell the type of the reaction, that is double displacement reaction is happening or precipitation reaction is happening over there. Okay, this means precipitation, right? So basically precipitation reaction is happening over there. So that gives you 0.5 marks. Then the next part of the question says the reason for this. So as there is an exchange of ions between the reactant and the product, which is why it is known as what, children? Double displacement reaction. And then if you see the precipitate of PbL2, that is basically lead iodide, is also being formed, which is why it's known as precipitation reaction. So write in the order, okay, and also explain the answer in the order. So first they explain the exothermic, then they explain displacement, then they explain redox. Either way you have to explain. This is 0.5 marks, dear children. Okay, so for all steps you are getting marks, remember that. So analyze the question first. Okay, read the question carefully first. If you want, underline this part, this, and this is what they are asking. So you have to give answer for that. Okay, so be precise and to the point while answering. Nothing, no extra drama. This is just a 2-marker question. Direct answer. That's all. Fine. So this is how you have to answer a question from chemistry, which is of 2 marks. Now going ahead, how to answer a 2-marker question from biology. So before going into that, I have something to tell you. That is, if you are someone who is confused about what to do after your 10th grade, my dear children, we have got DSHA for you, that is DSHA Scholastic Aptitude Test, where there will be a 60-minute concept-based lecture followed by an aptitude test, and then there will be one-on-one counseling where the counselor will tell you the best thing that could suit you for your future. Okay, the course that could suit you for the future. Now, if you're someone who thinks that it might be important for you, you can enroll it. The link will be given in the description. Works? Now we will come back to our thing. Where is the question? Yes. So, attempt either A or B. Okay, this is a 2-marker question. I see that. Chalo. List the steps for the synthesis of glucose by the plants. Now, list the steps become first part of the question. Next part, what special features is found in desert plants related to this particular process? So, next question is what special features? So, I get to know this contains 1 mark, this contains 1 mark. Okay, now here I want you to put your attention. They have asked, list the steps for the synthesis of glucose. That means they are asking you the steps involved in the process of photosynthesis, because photosynthesis is the process where you get glucose as an end product. Now, in your NCERT, they have given you 3 steps. First is absorption of sunlight, Okay. Second is basically conversion of light energy to chemical energy or breakdown of what say H2O into water and oxygen. Okay. And the third thing is basically reduction of CO2 to carbohydrates. These are the 3 steps that is given. Now it's a 2-marker question and you are saying that 1 mark will be awarded to one particular part and another 1 mark will be awarded to this particular part. So three parts for the first thing. Yes, you have to write it because they have mentioned list the steps for synthesis of glucose. Now according to your NCERT, now biology is a subject where you need theory, so you have to put theory and you have to explain. So the 3 steps is given over here. Then the last point, this is for the second part of the question, which says that what special feature is found in desert plants related to this particular process. So in desert plants, they take up carbon dioxide at night and prepare an intermediate which is acted upon by the energy absorbed by chlorophyll during the day. You see over here, how is the marks distributed? Now you might think it was of 1 mark and this is of 1 mark. But over here there is a twist. Over here there is a small twist. That is, they have mentioned the list of steps. That means you have to involve the steps. So if I say for each step there is 0.5 marks. Okay, then this last part of the question also becomes 0.5 marks. So in here, can you calculate and do things? Can you divide and do things? No, children. Over here, you have to write everything that is given in your NCERT for the whole process. There is no other way. I know that this is kind of cheating, big cheating, but yes. So mention the direct points that is given in your NCERT. That is very much important in the case of biology. In biology, whatever the question demands, you have to write it. Do not be worried about the marks that will be allocated. Whatever the question demands, you see it's not, do not write it too big. Just write absorption of light by chlorophyll, done. Conversion of light energy to chemical energy, splitting of water, this done. And then reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. You do not have to write the equation for photosynthesis, nothing. They are just asking you the steps, just write the steps and it's done, because it's a 2-marker question and you have a second part to it as well. Okay, so just write the list of the steps. Do not make a photosynthetic equation, things like that. You are wasting your time and your energy. Next part of the question, answer it in a bare minimum possible, because it's also 0.5 marks. So what I'm trying to say for biology is that whatever is given in your NCERT, write it ASAP, just like that, okay, as such, just like that, and read the questions really carefully. Fine, and see then if it is actually divided into 1 and 1 or not. It is not divided into 1 and 1 over here. Okay. Now next part, next type of question. So how to answer a 2-marker question from physics? Chalo, let's see. So the above figure shows 2 resistors X and Y, okay, connected in a series to a battery. Now the power dissipated for this combination is P1. For this combination it is P1. When these resistors are connected in parallel to the same battery, then the power dissipated is given by P2. Find out the ratio of P1 by P2. So what you need to do is, first you have to find P1. For that, whatever equations are needed, you need to do that. P2 also you have to find out. Then you have to talk about the ratio. So here step by step marking becomes very much important when you are going to solve the formula and step by step marking is very important. If you see the answer, you'll get to know. So over here, for series, total resistance is R plus 2R is equals to 3R. So for resistance, they have made, for series resistance, they have made an equation. For that, you get 0.5 marks. Now with the help of this equation, you are going to find P1. So P1 will be this. So for this, you are getting 0.5 marks. Next, for parallel resistance, you would be having an equation. Then when you, for that, you get 0.5 marks. For P2, they have this, but for this they have not given any marks, but understanding the fact that with the help of this only you can find this equation, which is why they are given 0.5 marks over here. Now find out the ratio of P1 and P2, that is the next part, that with the help of this only you will be able to find out. At the end you write it, you get 0.5 marks. So you see, you might have never imagined that this is the marking scheme that would be applied. Now if you go through the marking scheme, then only you will get an idea that okay, this is how I should be answering. So what is, so you do not know for what all points you will get marks, what all steps you will get marks. So what you should be doing is that start from the basics. As over here they have started from the basics, so you also have to start from the basics. Not be worried about whether I will be losing my 0.5 marks over there, no. If you are explaining, if this is very well explained, so 3R you got from here, then you are putting in this particular equation, that is P1 is equals to this and this. It is explanatory. Okay, this also is explanatory. If you would have directly written this, that is P2 is equals to this, you have missed this particular point. Will the examiner get to know that where you have got this from? No. So step by step is important. Over here also, if you have not mentioned about this, directly jumping on this, then that's a problem. So step by step, start from the basics, start to explain like you're explaining a child. This is what I used always while teaching offline. Okay, so explain your answers just like how you're going to explain another person of your age. Just like that you have to answer. Okay, so basics should be mentioned over there. Step by step marking is very much important in the case of physics and all the other subjects. But yes, when numericals and things come, you have to deal with the basics first. Do not jump to conclusions. So remember, step by step marking is important there. So hence solving the numericals in steps is important. Cool, works. I hope whatever I'm doing right over here is getting some use for you. It's of some use for you, because this is not something that most people discuss. Okay, answering is a skill and you should be knowing it, otherwise you're going to lose your marks. So everyone, most of my children who were there, they were saying like, and they used to study really well. Ma'am, I don't know where I lost my marks. Probably somewhere here only, because if you're excellent in having enough amount of knowledge, then you might be lacking the skill, that is of writing skill. So you should be practicing it often. Now, how to answer a 3-marker direct question? So direct question, let's see. So water is used by the leaves of the plant for photosynthesis, but rather than watering the leaves, we water the plant through the soil. How does this water reach the leaves of the plant? So only question that I see over here is, how does this particular water reach the leaves of the plant? So first thing that you have to explain is, what is the root for this? Okay, how does the water reach the leaves? Children, you know there is something that is known as xylem. Xylem takes in water. So you talk about xylem first. That should be your first sentence. Then you talk about the process. How is xylem able to take this water? Because what is happening, children? Transpirational pull is taking place over here. And why is transpirational pull taking place over here? Because evaporation has happened. Water is getting loose. The plant itself is losing water because of evaporation. Okay, water in the form of water vapor, it's going off. So basically what happens is that there's a pull that is being created, that is known as transpirational pull, which is why water is moving up. So you have to talk about the basic thing first. What is the basic thing? Who carries this water? That is xylem. Then you talk the reason behind it. That is transpirational pull, okay, and also evaporation. If you explain this in detail, you get the marks. But you should be knowing that you should be answering like this. So start from the basics. That's my tip. Start from the basics whenever needed, not every time. But over here, they're asking you, how does the water reach? So you should be telling the root, how it is reaching, that is xylem. So in plants, the water is absorbed by the plants from the soil through the roots. Xylem tissue of the root, stem and leaves are interconnected to form a continuous system of water conducting channels. Second thing we spoke about during the day, stomata are open, transpiration pull becomes the major driving force. Why is this transpirational pull happen? Because evaporation is happening. So you are explaining the basics. Start with the basics and then move ahead with the core points. Underline the important terms, my dear children. So over here, underline transpirational pull, okay, underline evaporation, underline xylem. Okay, because this is the core thing that is given in this answer. Now, if you're underlining that, you are showcasing that, okay, I know this, and the teacher might not read the whole sentence as well if you are underlining things. So, teacher got the key points that is written over here. So, she will be also happy. You get it? You get it? I'm not saying that they won't be reading it at all, but after some point of time, they'll be like, they will just looking for the key terms. After some few papers that are being there, they might be just looking for the key terms that are there. So please involve the key terms and showcase it by underlining the important terms. Okay? Now, that is for all subjects, okay, for all the subjects. Now, next question, what to do when there are multiple parts in a 3-marker question? So there are multiple parts, it's a 3-marker question. State the relationship between the resistance R of a wire to its length L and cross-sectional area A. Use the mathematical symbols to arrive at the final formula. Using the formula, define resistivity of a material. So again, as I said, when you do not know how the marks will be divided, explain the basics and then come to the conclusion. Over here also, start from the basics and explain everything. You're not worried about the step marking thing over here. You have to explain from the basics. So you started off from the basics. Okay, you said that R is proportional to L, that is what length, and then it is and then you're writing this you're writing this, you're getting to a conclusion to this. Use the mathematical symbols to arrive at the final formula. So this is the final formula. Okay, you have stated the relationship between this and this, you have stated the relationship between this and this, and you have arrived at the final formula. So this gives you 1.5 marks. Here you are not worried about the step marking, because you have explained everything that is being asked in the question. Similarly, using the formula define resistivity of the material. So using this particular formula, how can I define resistivity? You use this equation over here and then you tell. Hence resistivity is the resistance offered by a wire of length 1m having a cross sectional area of 1 meter square. You explain the answer like this, you get 1.5 marks. Okay, so what all you should be writing, for example, I might have written until here, but I might have not written this. You will get to know this only when you see the marking scheme. So whenever a bit amount of explanation is needed, give that, because as I said, you can either divide in 2 and 1. Okay, you can either divide in 1.5 and 1.5, so you never know that. So what can you do? The best thing that you can do is, whatever the question is asking, give the answer for that completely from the basics. Okay, so here also from the basics it is given and the whole complete thing is given. Do not go on elaborating a lot of things, just the basics is needed, put that there. Okay, so read the question carefully. If multiple parts of the question is equally important, then answer accordingly. Okay, cool, works. Now, how to answer a 5-marker question. So 5-marker question over here, it is written A and B are sodium salts of long chain carboxylic acid and long chain sulfonic acid respectively. Okay, which one of A or B will you prefer as a cleansing agent while using underground water? Give the reason for your answer. Now again, you do not know how marks might have been divided, so you tell, okay, which one of them will you prefer and why? You have to tell which one will you prefer and why. That is the simplest thing. So let's see the answer says that only or not. So B is preferred for cleansing action. The calcium and magnesium salts present in the underground water are precipitated with carboxylic acid. The Ca and are soluble in water. B is more effective cleansing agent in the presence of this. So basically you told what is preferred and you told about the reason. That's all. It gives you 1 mark. So whatever was asked in the question, you at least answered it. You at least answered it and you got the marks for the same. Okay, do not be worried about the marks. Over here it gives you 1 mark, total 1 mark. So you know how to divide the marks. Next question. Elaborate on the process of cleansing action. Illustrate micelle with the help of labeled diagram. So they are asking you to explain the process of cleansing action. Obviously it will be bigger, so write everything that is needed and illustrate micelle. So supporting, this is a supporting statement. They are not asking you to draw directly the micelle over there and explain. So this is something that supports this question. So basically give more priority to the first part and then to this part, but anyways you have to make it. So the thing that you did is you wrote the whole answer that was needed. It gave you 2 marks and then for the labeled figure also you got 1 mark. So 2 plus 1, 3 marks for the whole question, whole second part of the question. Okay, now third part says write the chemical equation of the preparation of soap from an ester. So you have to write the equation, then what is the name of this process? Complete. Tell the name of the process and then you are done. Do not explain what is happening in this process, that is not needed. Okay, you just have to tell the name, that is only been asked, answer just that, nothing else. It's a direct question. So wherever you see direct question, for example, only biology will give you questions where you might need more explanation. They might have just asked about how does the plant is taking water, but you have to explain about evaporation, you have to explain about transpirational pull, and it's not a direct question that comes in like that, right? So over here in the case of chemistry, in the case of physics, they have a very direct questions. So utilize that, utilize them and answer them accordingly. See for the questions, what are they asking? As I said, underline. Whenever you find some question, underline it so that you do not forget that there is a sub part of it. And one more very important thing that I want to tell you is, whenever there is an or question, look through the question paper really carefully and then attempt. Do not go on attempting. For example, you have question number 1, this is the question, and then or this is the question. You go on answering this and this both. No, my dear children. You should be answering just one. You do not have much time. Sometimes the question also comes like this, where first question has this A, B, C and D options like this, and then they have put or and then they have put one more thing. So just understand, it's not like you are just given this option. That is, just only one statement will be there and the question is ended. That means you can attempt either this D option or you can attempt this D option, not both of them. That is what they mean. It's not like you just attempt this answer and sit like you have completed with the first question. No, it's not like that. For the D option only you are getting an option and you have to answer accordingly. So look through this, do not get panicked while you're on. I know the situation is kind of different in the examination hall, but just remember, this is just another exam that is happening in your life, and you have given so many exams. Just think, you're in 10th, okay? From KG1 you are writing your LKG classes, your low kindergarten classes, you are writing, keeping on exams. So why are you worried about exams, my dear children? Nothing will happen. Just a second. Okay. Yes, so do not be worried about anything. Everything is all good. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell. If you think that this particular video was helpful for you, do not forget to tell us in the comment section. We will be really happy, okay, to know. And if you need any more help from us, then also do let us know in the comment section. Yeah, and yes, as I said, one more thing, the DSHA Scholastic Aptitude Test is here, so you can take your DSAT exam today itself. 60 minutes, a lecture will be there. Then they will be having an aptitude test and one-on-one counseling, after which they will be telling you what you should be probably doing. If it's of help, then definitely click on the link that is given in the description box. Okay, works? So that's all, my champions. I'm wishing you all the best. Do not forget to smile and stay calm. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.